Hi guys, today what I'm going to do is talk about a few scripts that everybody should use. So there's two ways you can access scripts. You can either go up to the scripts menu here, or you can open the Python scripts window here. I'm just going to go straight to the scripts here. It's the same scripts. So the first one is this print info menu, and if you go down there, list files, that lists all of the content in categories of files that are used in your scene. Every single thing in theory. It doesn't actually always do every single thing, but usually it does. Sometimes I find it misses objects that should be in the scene, but that's another matter. But so what it does is it lists Python scripts, geometry, morph files, and textures that are used in your scene. So it's a great way to get the paths if you want to go to, supposing you want to change the texture on something. This could be one way just to find out the path to the textures that are used, for example. So that's pretty useful. And I do use that probably more when I'm debugging, to be honest. But the next one is very similar. If I go down to utility and do CollectSceneInventory, at first glance, it's the same thing. Because if I do listFiles, it does exactly the same. Slightly different order here. But here's where that option is really, really useful. If you ever need to test poser files on other machines, or you're debugging on another machine, or maybe you're uploading to Bondware's tech support, they'll often ask you to do this. What it does is it lets you package everything in a scene in a single easy location. So if I do copy all to folder here, and now I'm in a folder I'm going to save to, I'll give it a name. We'll just call it export. That's just going to be the poser file name. And now I just call it that. It goes through the same process, but if I now go to that place on my hard drive, you'll see that it's exported every single file that was listed in the list files option before. So this is a great way. If I now take that folder and WinRAR or WinZip it, I can move it to another machine, or perhaps I for some reason I want to render on another machine without going across the network. Or I could just package this up to send to somebody else, and they would have all of the files that are required. So from a copyright point of view, perhaps not so good because you're exporting other people's OBJs, but that's another matter entirely. So let me just move that out of the way. Okay, so on to another script. There's not many more actually. There's only 3 or 4 that I use. Okay, so this next one is invaluable. It is, excuse me, it's in the utility folder, which is where the main ones are that I use, DeleteLights. So if you're going to add a light to a scene manually, often you want to build your lights from a scene that has no lights in it. And it can be a pain clicking through the lights one after the other up here and then deleting them, going up into the menu, choosing the lights and then deleting them. So it's easier if you just choose this script and then you just do utility, delete lights. Now you need to be careful because this is not undoable. Oh, there you go. It's warning me of that. And now all of the lights are gone. So now let's just add some lights to the scene, a default light. Let's just say pose 11 default light. There you go. So it's added the lights now. You can add new lights to the scene without deleting the previous ones, or I could just do, I could actually replace the existing lights, but at least now I'm starting from a clean lighting position. There's 4 lights there. Okay, and the last one, you might recall the other week that I talked about why you should always save your files uncompressed. Now, to set that up, you go up into Preference and you do Miscellaneous, and you just make sure file compression is turned off. And then you add to that the autosave option. So it will automatically save at whatever frequency you want it to. I can't remember which document. There we go. Autosave is enabled, and then I just set the frequency down here. So now that storage is so fast, you can afford to have autosave turned on, and it will save to, say, an NVMe or even a fast SSD very, very quickly. And you could set up a save frequency of no more than 5 minutes. There you go. It's saving even as we speak, and that was how quick it saved. But the biggest amount of time in a save is actually compression time, the time it takes to compress the file. So you might have lots of old saves that you want to uncompress. So if I go up here, utility, and then you just go down to uncompressPoserFiles, or you could have just gone into the preferences menu and save the file, load it, and then save it as uncompressed. So you could do uncompress here. So if I do uncompress, it lets me do an entire directory here. So I can uncompress every file in a particular folder. So here, compressed, there's loads of files in there. I'll just choose that folder. Now say go. First of all, I'll just show you the folder. So here's the folder. There's two compressed files. You can see PZZ and PZZ. That's zip compression. So if I now do uncompress, and you can choose to do geometry files as well, that's uncompressed those. So now if I go to the folder, you'll see, there you go, they're uncompressed now. So the dirt map file is uncompressed, PZ3, compression test is uncompressed, PZ3, and dynamic close is already uncompressed. And I could go the other way in that menu. So supposing I'm working on a sequence of images, or I just have a whole folder of stuff that I've saved uncompressed from the past, all I need to do, what the heck is that doing? All I need to do then is just go up to here in the utility scripts again, and I could do compress, and it goes the other way around, and it will compress everything in a folder. So supposing you're working on uncompressed saves to get the speed, the save speed, and then every so often you just recompress that whole folder just for archiving, and then you put that somewhere and it'll be 1/10 of the space or whatever. Let me have a look, see what size those files are. So we've got here compression test, which is this folder is 57 megs, and compressed is 14. So that's about 1 to 4 compression. So well worth doing it here. 1 to 4 again, 1 to 5 even. So well worth saving as compressed, but you don't want to have your working files compressed. Okay, guys. Well, that's the whole shebang. I don't think I really need to labour the point. Just a few useful ones, and I will come back to you with more useful stuff later. You take care.